So, here's a riddle. What has 5 letters and is the invisible solution to America's biggest challenges? It's the secret to creating jobs, to growing our economy, reducing inequality, and fighting poverty. I'll give you some hints. It's right under our noses. It's proven by scientific research, and it's often overlooked by our political leaders. In fact, during the last presidential election, it was almost never mentioned by the candidates or the conventions. I'll answer this riddle, but first, who am I? Let me share a little bit about myself. I'm the son of immigrants who grew up in towns of all kinds across Middle America. From that upbringing, I became sensitive to unfairness. It seemed wrong certain people got wealthy while others didn't. Some cities thrived while others fell behind. Ever since I was a kid, I started asking, why? Why can't we do better as a society? I pursued the answer in many ways, working as an entrepreneur and investor, among other things. 2 years ago, I joined the Kauffman Foundation, a philanthropy, where we help empower people to help realize their dreams. As part of that work, I'm thrilled to tell you we've discovered an answer to this riddle. But here's the thing. When it comes to big challenges like jobs, growth, inequality, poverty, there's a huge gap between what we know and what we actually do. What do I mean? I'll start by giving you 4 insights on what we actually know. First, jobs. A group of researchers examined all the businesses in the US over 30 years, and they discovered something shocking. They found that virtually all net new jobs are created by businesses younger than 5 years old. In short, new jobs come from new companies, not old ones. Second, growth. A similar group of researchers looked at productivity over 17 years. They also found something surprising. Declining productivity is tied to declining innovation in existing firms. What does that mean? It implies that GDP growth is tied to new companies. Third, inequality. Other researchers looked at which cities are making new businesses. They found that half of net new businesses started used to be spread out widely over 30 cities. Now, half of those new businesses are happening in just 5 of the biggest cities. In short, most cities are starving for new businesses. Fourth, poverty. A researcher looked at data from all 50 states, and he found that for every 1% increase in the rate of new Americans starting new businesses, there was a 2% decrease in the rate of poverty. In short, creating new businesses helps fight poverty. So if we tie all this knowledge together about jobs, growth, inequality, and poverty, what do we know? The research points to a powerful new insight. More and more, the evidence shows that our long-term economic well-being comes from our ability to start and grow new businesses. So what's the 5-letter answer to my riddle? Well, it was a trick question. The answer is entrepreneurship. But that's a very long word. So at the Kauffman Foundation, we shorten it to eShip. 5 letters. eShip is the answer. And that answer makes sense because entrepreneurs are the ones who dream of a better future and who actually set out to make it happen. So the riddle has an answer. That seems like great news, but here's the bad news. The rate of Americans starting new business has been falling for over 40 years. In fact, we have about half the people starting businesses today than we did when I was a kid. Somewhere along the way, America lost its mojo, our entrepreneurial spirit. I've traveled across this land, and I can tell you people do feel left out, like their individual actions don't really matter anymore. But there is a way forward. Entrepreneurship, eShip, is the answer. But what does that mean in a practical sense for us here today? Well, look around. This audience has about 1,000 people. Every month, out of 1,000 Americans, about 3 of us decide to start a new business. The question is, how do we tilt the odds? How do we increase 3 to 4, say, in this room? Well, individual actions matter. If you've been thinking about starting a new business, what's holding you back? Take the next step. It's hard, I know, but there is help. Every community has programs that offer to support entrepreneurs. One place you might start is the Kauffman Foundation's website. We've got free online courses, events, and other information that will inspire you. And if you're one of the 997 people who aren't starting a business this month, that's okay too. But what are you doing to help the other 3? Simple things mean a lot to new entrepreneurs. Try out their new product, make an introduction, help spread the word about them. Our research at the Kauffman Foundation show that those things actually matter. In fact, we've found the success of entrepreneurs depends a lot on what the 997 do to support the work of the 3. So if you can't be one of the 3, then be an awesome member of the 997. When you look at America this way, our economic challenges don't seem nearly as daunting. E-ship is the answer. It creates jobs, it fosters growth, it levels the playing field. And best of all, we don't need to wait for anyone else. We don't need to wait for the gears of government to grind. E-ship is something tangible all of us can do, one person at a time, one business at a time. We can take control of our economic destiny by supporting our entrepreneurs. They're the makers, the doers, the dreamers. That's how we revive our communities. That's how we get America's mojo back. And that's how we really make America great again. Thank you.